There we go. So, hey, Cheryl, thank you for joining us today.
Christine.
Welcome to our Mastermind Focus. And today we're focusing on you, you and your journey, and servant leadership is our path. So I'm going to let you take it away. You are the broker owner of Kensington Real Estate. You are our immediate past president of New England Region RRC. And I'm going to let you take it away, and you've got a lot to talk about. Go for it.
I have like 5 pages that I'm going to have to look down sometimes and read my notes, but I thought giving you a little history might help you see my story and my path. And I'm going to be a real name dropper today. I want to thank some people along my path that I've had and I've enjoyed. So here you go. Here's my journey to becoming a trusted real estate advisor and a servant leader. It began in 1987 when I got my real estate license, and I waited to work for this very well-respected woman in my area. Her name was Jerry Abbott. She was a woman that owned her own brokerage firm. She started it in 1978, and she was a single mom, and she had 3, I'd say high school age children. And so I thought she'd be a really good role model for me. So I waited to work for her, and I looked at her and I said, as I'm considering my career change here, it's a sink or swim thing. There was not back in 1986 when I got licensed, and then again went in my sales career in 87. There were not the classes that we have today. It was more so I went up on her second level, shut the door, and put the cassette tapes in. Who remembers any of those back in the day? Dave does. He's laughing. So I shut the door and I would just listen to scripts and just role play with myself in the mirror. And she gave me a lot of good opportunities. She pushed me to join the Willowdale Ladies Golf League, which was all about consistency and seeing the same people on a regular basis and learning what they do and what I do. She also made me join the Mansfield Women of Today, which was all about making contributions back to the community and also getting some leadership training. It wasn't real estate related, but it was about getting up and public speaking and maybe writing and starting poetry. And what was good about that is as I sold my clients their homes, I said, let's join that meeting together and I'll see you once a month. So I was like building consistency through a vehicle that was helping me start to develop leadership skills and not be so afraid to speak in public. So no formal training. I&M meetings, if anybody remembers, that was part of the Greater Boston Association of Realtors. They would designate towns by letters, and I got some exposure to volunteering with the Greater Boston Association of Realtors on social media, going back even further, professional standards, and all these things helped me be the type of agent I wanted to be. Jerry Abbott's role, she did volunteer with her board. She did want her agents to be the best that they could be, and she pushed me in those directions. Then there came an opportunity. In 1992, I was approached by a representative from the DeWolf Company, and there's the connection with Ann Enos and I. So this Dan Halverson was his name. He was a recruiter, and I said, I'm really quite content where I am. I love my family at Jerry Abbott's, but I'd be interested in having my own company someday. So he goes, well, how about learning real estate from the other side of the desk? So I said, all right. So I let Greg and Jerry know that I was interviewing with someone else, and it was a career advancement opportunity for me. And so now I'm going to tell you about what he did for me. So Dick DeWolf invited me in for an interview. And this is a true story, and I didn't realize it then, but I realize it now, and I share that secret I'm going to share with you so that you can do it for other people. So I'm sitting there nervous as a cat, shaking, and I'm just 5 years in the business, but I had a very successful career thus far. I've never managed anything in my life, nothing. And I was interviewing for a manager's position, and I'm wondering to myself, is this guy crazy? Does he know? There's got to be better candidates out there. And he said to me, and if I can get up to table level, he goes, Cheryl, because I kind of asked that question without making myself look like unqualified. And I said, he said to me, Cheryl, he goes, I'm going to take $200,000 out of the bank. I'm going to put it on the table, and I'm going to slide it over to you to make me more than I can in the bank. I did not want to let this man down. He obviously believed in me more than I believed in myself. And that is a really cool thing about being about a leader. And I didn't see it back then as he was empowering me to step it up. But that's what I now look back and discover, and that'll be woven in with the rest of the things I have to say. So that was the money story. Couple of years after that, he would invite us in for interviews again, because you're like kind of like Ann, right? Had a re-interview every year. You'd go down, here's your budget, la 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 la. And he asked the words to me, Cheryl, are you content? Now, I'm sitting back and I'm going, it's an A or B question. How am I going to answer this one? So I said, well, honestly, I said, no, I'm not content. And I think that was the right answer, because I think for people that said that they're content, they may not be as ambitious, maybe, right, to work hard. So I was like, phew, guess I'm good for another couple of years here. And let's see what else. Something else I noticed when I was in his office. He had that little story, just bought it again for my grandson, The Little Engine That Could. And he certainly lived that life. Not only did he take over his parents' or his mom's real estate company in 1959 in Milton, but he built it up to 100 offices. And I was office number 30, I think, in North Attleboro when we opened there. And not only did he grow his company, but he added a mortgage element to it and an insurance element. And beyond all that, he then took it public and was traded on the stock exchange. And we all had to buy shares as managers, right, Ann? and I can say now that I was grateful. We won them for certain achievements, of course, but also we were encouraged to invest. And for that good reason is when he sold the company to Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage, or NRT, in about, I think, 2002, we all capitalized on that sale because we had shares. So it was an amazing time for me learning under this man who taught me how to empower others, how to build a company, how to surround himself with very smart and talented people. And so I thank him for that. Let's see. While I was working with the DeWolf Company, I earned my CRB, which is Certified Residential Brokerage, because I wanted to be a better broker manager. And that was amazing. That was the last class for CRB. If anybody else has done that, for me, it was down in Florida. It was a 3-day gig where you had to, with other designees to be, build a virtual office and problem solve what you anticipated you'd be dealing with if you did go out on your own and start your own company. So that was incredible. But you know what? There wasn't a lot of referrals passed because the broker owners were more managing the back end, and the salespeople were doing all the referrals back and forth. So I just tucked that in the back of my head. Let's see. Next step. One door shuts, another one opens. So in 2008, we all know what happened if you were in the business then. A lot of short sales, a lot of foreclosures, and there was some belief that those things were happening on the third tier out, not so close to the city. So some offices with their leases being renewed were asked to merge with other offices. And that's what happened to my office in Mansfield. In 2008, it was closed, and I was back in the sales force. So time to reinvent. It was a little hard because you lose your identity and you have to say, well, what do I do today? It's Monday. Usually I go to the office. But in this business, we can always reinvent. We can always go back to school, so to speak. So that's what I did. And again, I had to reflect back on Jerry Abbott. My word for her is grit. She had to sink or swim. She had to make it work. She taught me to get involved, to be a joiner, and I did those things. I joined the Women's Success Network because I wanted to be around very happy, active, positive people. If I was going to do something crazy, like I did, and that's open my own company with a partner, 2 partners actually that are builders. So now it's the rubber hits the road for me because I've made that decision, and I've made it without a safety net. Prior to 2008, the DeWolf Company, I never really had to go outside of the company because we had all the best education, so I thought, right there for us. I also had relocation right there for us and for my agents, and marketing. So where was I going to reinvent all of those things? So with the best in the business, I looked at WCR, Women's Council of Realtors, and CRS to help me and my team. I have all the same components they had when they worked for those big box companies or the franchises. And that's, on my page, where it started with me just being a member. And Women's Council of Realtors, if Shannon Buss was on the call, she'll remember that we had a saying, the task is to ask. So when you see people attending classes, and this is the same way in CRS too, you know, they might tap you on the shoulder and say, I've seen you at a couple of classes, Christine. I've seen you at a couple of classes, Jim. Maybe, you know, you want to get more involved. Would you like to serve on a committee or as a network director or have any aspirations to be a leader for our region? So when I did raise my hand after I was tapped a couple of times, and I can tell you these are some of the people that made it happen for me. Christy May, if anybody remembers her, she's now moved to Florida, invited me to a Women's Council of Realtors meeting. Karen Shaler Wong, who's since now moved down south, she swore me in, and I just got a referral from her yesterday. These people that have been important in my life are still in my life, and it's a good thing that you nurture these relationships because it will come back to you in a good way. Carol Fontana, she's still very active in Women's Council. Julie Palmisio, I spent a lot of time with her and Allison Socher in New Orleans at one of the National Association of Realtors conferences. Jean Sanfilippo, Erica Hall, I spent mid-year with her. Shannon Buss, she gave one of the best Newport leadership retreats on leadership training, and she's going to be doing that again for our new team, so I'm looking forward to seeing her magic again. Judy Moses, went to Inman with her in New York City and learned a lot from her. She was a past national president of CRS. Judy Patterson, Brad Roberts, Corey Mancini, and one member, this is a little what's in it for me, for Ann, June Hanscom, I believe is her name, gave me a referral, sent down a buyer referral from New Hampshire. To date, I have done 5 sales with that one referral, 1,325,000 sales volume, and probably a gross commission income of $33,125. So that's kind of a good ROI, I think, for your 195. I think, you know, everybody you meet has real pearls of wisdom and talents. Like my little girl over here on my screen to the left, Christine. She is so talented. She got us on Zoom accurately every week. She takes all of these recordings and she posts them on YouTube so they live forever. And now we're even on Facebook. So hi, Facebook friends. So thank you, Christine. And it wasn't, if we'd never talked about, you know, some of the things you did or what your background was, we would never would have known and been as far in advance, especially in the COVID-19 situation, reaching members beyond ever what we could in place in person, right? So thank you, Christine. CRS. So again, I told you I'm going to be a name dropper. So Joe Scott invited me to CRS when I was at a national convention in Florida. It was a Massachusetts cocktail party. If you've ever attended those, I know Dave has. I've seen him there, I believe. And so he then brought me over to meet Richard Waystack. And it was a nice conversation. And Richard invited me shortly thereafter to come sit on the board. It's there where I started to learn more from Kurt Thompson, Gary Rogers, Darlene Sedano, Ann Meswat, and Rick Coughlin on what Region 1 is all about. We were just 3 states then. I watched them struggle, and Richard Waystack as well, in folding in the Rhode Island and Maine connections to grow to what we are, 6-state region today. So I must be missing somebody. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. So this initial group of individuals were in our dear friends that included me in CRS procedures, great classes to attend, and not to miss instructors. Going back to my DeWolf empowered explanation, Richard did the same thing to me, because once I was on just the regular board of directors, he said, we'd like you to go into education, and I think you'd be really good at it. Okay, and then he kind of walked away. And I figured, well, here is someone else putting this responsibility on my lap. Oh my gosh, I don't want to let him down. So I enjoyed 3 fabulous years in education, which gave me the behind the scenes discussions with the likes of some I'm going to share with you that have been life-changing for me. Never would have had that opportunity if I didn't raise my hand. I didn't say okay to Joe Scott, went to that meeting, got to meet Richard, volunteered a little bit on the board, and then asked to step up. For that work that I did stepping up, Richard surprised me almost to tears at a meeting and bestowed upon me this badge right here, which is CRS of the year in 2015. Wasn't looking for it, wasn't expecting it, but it was nice to be, thanked and appreciated for that work. And I've made a lot of friends, lifelong friends, because of it. So if you're asked, I encourage you to consider it. While I was in that role, I had originally heard about Ed Hatch, if you've ever heard of him or seen him teach. Richard invited me down to Hyannis to a 2-day booking, and he was very interesting then, and I said, you know what, I'm going to book him again for Maine. So in 2018, I booked him up in Maine, where I met a lot of super good friends. We had probably over 100 people in the classroom. It was in a college setting, and it was fabulous. And after that class, I was so moved that I hired him to be my personal coach. One of the classes I took with him was Mind Your Business. And he's mean, but he's good, because you know what he did? He made me focus on my business. Sometimes it's like, hurry up, let me just help the next person, right? But he made me focus on my business, having me painfully itemize and budget personal expenses, business expenses, my taxes, set aside money for that. He also made me make a list of places I wanted to go, things I wanted to achieve, what I would do for others in life. It's because of Ed Hatch that my husband and I went on a 2-week vacation from Seattle, Washington to Victoria Island to Vancouver Railway through the Rockies to last destination Banff on Lake Louise, which was a 15-year goal realized. And that is because he sat me down, he made me accountable, he listened, and he nurtured me. The last time I was at a conference, a National Association of Realtors conference and a CRS award night, I was happy to see Ed Hatch receive a lifetime award for his works and efforts with RRC. So that was kind of a nice icing on the cake for me to see my early mentor and coach get that award. Bringing it a little closer to present day, Chris Bird. If you haven't seen him, I'm singing his praises right now. This man holds a 1-day and a 2-day class. It's so power-packed, you can't believe it. You almost have to take it twice. I take it twice every time I see him come around. We usually sell out in the days that we were live. This man has saved me thousands of dollars in taxes. I can tell you privately how I do that. He's also helped me understand the PPP and get that lined up. And he's finally helping me prep myself to purchase my first commercial investment. He's all about invest in what you know. He'll take endless time to answer all your questions when you attend his classes. And again, I share it because he's changed my life by my taking the time. And I hope that you get that opportunity too. From a CRS meeting, when we used to have them in the basement there, I can't think of the name of the place in Waltham. Hey, Kurt. But while I was there, speaking with Nelson Zides about how he runs his business, because now remember I'm my own broker owner, and he thought I would really benefit from a small group of broker owners. And I'm extremely grateful because that group I consider friends that come like family. Instead of me trying to reinvent the wheel and find the best receptionist, I was able to talk to Nora Lynch from our own group here, and also Marie Presti. So, ta-da, I have Ruby Receptionist. My phones never go unanswered or on a voicemail again. But I could go to school on this group of people, and so we meet every month, even through Zoom. That's Nelson Zides, Denise Higgins, Norman O'Grady, Christopher Terry, Marie Presti, Bill Coleman was in my group, Mel and Bill Bissonette, Annie Hart Cool, and Ronnie B. So if you see those peeps, just tell them good job and thanks for sharing, and I'm sure if you have any questions, they'd be happy to help you too. Really, my cup of joy in being a servant is so full because of the people I think I'm trying to help. Kate Linigan McGregor, who helped me, she stepped up to put 1,200 emails in early March of 2020 when we wanted to get the message out because Richard asked us to get a group together and just see how you're doing. And she did that at 10 o'clock at night, individually got them all in because we couldn't get a hold of national, everything was on shutdown. So I'm forever grateful for her. Christine, I gave you a little toot earlier, but you made YouTube possible. So if people can't get to this 12 to 12:30 time frame, you make it possible for us to repeat it and see it and review it in our own time frame. Karina Robles, she stepped up this year. First time up, we gave her membership, kind of a big ticket thing for her to fill, but she got out there a few times for us, and she's interviewing members. And the reason for that is because we want to give you, the membership, exposure to other members, so that if they meet somebody in Maine, they know to call Vicki Kennedy. If they need someone, Karen Stevens, because she's volunteered as a network director down in Connecticut. So if we can help you, Christine and I talked, this is, I'm still nervous right now talking out loud on camera, but I know that video is the way to let people know what you know and how you can help them. So I figure this is good practice. Thank you all for not laughing and being kind and friendly. So anyways, Marie Presti, that girl's an extraordinaire volunteer, and she brings to us great wealth of information from being a president of our association. Plus, she's on the National Board for Finance for RRC, and she's our local guardian of our funds, your funds, membership monies, to make sure we do a good job with that. Nora Lynch and Kelly Catallo, I really took this idea we had, Mastermind Mondays, and again, got it out to so many more people than we could have reached in person. So I'm grateful, and that took growth because no one knew how to do this. No one knew how to Zoom. Nora did, I think, but Kelly and I, we were just a little more rough around the edges but we're all learning, and everybody, again, rose to the occasion, like Christine, and took a talent, but it takes someone of us to see that someone has that talent and then kind of like draw it out of them, right? How are we doing on time? Okay, just want to thank Gary Rogers and Bill Dermody for my new invitation to RPAC. So I'm new at this, but I will explain my return on investment when I have a little more to share with you. But careful when you raise your hand, because this is my second year I'm on fundraising. So if I invite you to something, please come. I think that I just want to end with this story. So see this nice little statue? So someone because she's come to some meetings, Ann Darling. It was a gift for my birthday, and she said, this reminded me of you because you helped build me up, and I see you help doing that same for others too. So a little life lesson. I didn't know that she felt that way. We in leadership don't know or do what we do for accolades or for titles, but because we want to help wherever we help, and I think Shannon Buss said it good last week, good leaders want to fit wherever the need is needed. Not necessarily the title of president or treasurer or finance, it's wherever they're needed. And it may not be just on boards. It may be at your church. It may be at your kid's school. So you're a leader. All of you are leaders. And we're all, if we could all just look for pearls in other people and their talents and help them, then what a better world it's going to be, right? I wish Nora was here. Do you have any questions about any of these superstars I talked about? I did, Kurt. Thank you very much for your part in my career and boosting me into the presidential position and being our RVP.
You did all that on your own with that incredible team you pulled together and all those, just that talent that you were able to energize and get involved with CRS. Thank you for all you've done.
You've done an amazing amount of work, Cheryl, in a difficult year. So think about what you didn't start the year think you were going to do what you were going to do last year, right? So the fact that you were able to pivot and get folks together and say, we're going to get together one way or another, and we're still together, which is pretty good. So that's something I hope you're happy that you've been able to do for us, because I wouldn't know half of these people if it wasn't for our little Mastermind Mondays.
All right, cool. Very, very cool. Makes me happy. So Nora, I'm sorry Nora can't be here to tell you this good news, but she's going to have a little in-person summer soiree at her house, August 26th from 5 to 7. Just want to see each other. I think maybe it's okay to hug.
In real life.
So you'll get something on email for that. And then Lisa is down in beautiful Marco Island. She's at the President's Circle for RPAC. And so she'll be sending out a volunteer position, a survey for volunteer positions. Again, please take a look at that. It'll probably come out in August. So Nora would probably tell you that what we have on schedule for the fall class. Oh, she's actually
You're
coming.
just sneaking in. We won't tag her yet.
Okay. Hey, Nora.
I'm here. I've been on Facebook Live listening.
Well, you're right on time. Can we hear about your little
Been
summer
here
party?
live. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. So no, I'm sorry. I was just on my phone. It wasn't easy to connect, and here I am at my laptop.
All good.
So, Cheryl, thank you so much for sharing. I had no idea your story. I came in right, just a little bit into your story. I'm curious to learn more about the beginning part. So, I think we're at August 26th, correct me?
I think so.
Yeah, I think sometime like 3 or 4 o'clock at 114 Woodland Street at my house. And you guys have motivated me all to finally rip the Band-Aid off and get my trees done. I have a lot of trees that have to come down. So anyway, it's 3 or 4 to whenever, and it'll be a nice outside soiree. And if you don't know where Sherburne is, it's really just 7-8 minutes down the road from Natick. So if you're at the Speen Street exit, probably about 10 minutes down the road from there. So not as far as people think it is. So thank you so much, Cheryl, for sharing, and everybody for being on here too. And sorry I wasn't live, but I was really live on Facebook Live.
Kurt, any final words? We're very happy with your position coming up.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've done an incredible job. And again, I think that, Cheryl, what you've demonstrated is how much of an impact an individual can have and how much of an impact you can have when you come together as a group to move things forward. So you've been an incredible catalyst and a lightning rod. It is just incredible to continue to come out Monday after Monday and continue to see the incredible work that's been initiated by yourself and this wonderful group of volunteer leaders that's now heading up the New England region of RRC, excuse me. I still refer to CRS, but RRC in this region. So great job. Great job.
And I think our next mastermind will be July 12th, I believe, because we've got next week would be a skip week, and then we have the 5th of July. We skip holidays. So the next one will be the 12th. And I'm not sure we have on board yet for that, but we'll find out.
Yep,
Stay tuned. And as I can also make a plug for Cheryl, I remember you talking about referrals, and I have made several referrals to Cheryl with near and dear clients and almost family members. And that's been a wonderful place for referrals too. And Cheryl did a fantastic job. So thank you very much, Cheryl.
Thank you. Keep them coming. Keep them sending. So thank you, everybody. This was really
Thank you,
great.
Cheryl. This was great.
Have a great week, and
We'll see you on July 12th.
take care, everybody.
Bye.